that doesn't feel right to me either. Hey y'all, and welcome to another 10-minute guide. I'm your host Henrik, and if you're like me and thought something about the new Stoneguards were a bit, off, this is the video for you. The most obvious fix here is to swap the head entirely, and it's not the technical part here that's difficult, but rather finding the right bit, as these lads are quite a bit larger than your regular elf. So, for example, Shadow Warrior heads might look good, armored up and might fit the theme, but they might look just a little bit too small. There are so many good bits to pick from, but my favorite ones are either the new bear incubi heads, giving them some ritualistic scarring and hinting at a dark past prior to joining the Stoneguard. This also gives you a bit of a chance at painting a bit more skin in your army, an army that is really heavy with the cloth and armor, so a bit more color, I guess. Another head that's one of my go-to bits when it comes to anything Eldar or Elf in just about any game is the Wildwood Ranger. You can't go wrong with a hooded elf, to be honest. Both these are really simple. You basically cut down the necks, just a little, and then attach them with a little bit of sculpting putty. We will not be switching out the hammers today, as I think they will be a sign of the Stoneguard office. For example, say once we get the River Monks, they might have Sword Masters, and the Sandanic Temple might have some Spear Dudes, and the Wind Temple might have a bow and arrow, who knows. So I think they will be quite iconic to identify these guys as Stoneguard. I like this method a lot more. Not only do you use a lot more of the original kit, but also stay true to the original model. The first helm is basically the helm topper with a bit of sculpting putty as an artificial neck, as I showed you in the previous episode. Even though I like that one a lot, the one with the plume is my favorite. And that's what I'm going to show you how to achieve today. Start out by removing the Stoneguard head from the sprue. As you can see, it's quite a bit longer than the head on the finished model, so what we're going to do is remove this piece where you attach the cow head. It has a natural sort of trim halfway down the helm. That's a good place to cut, so you can make sure it's an even length on both sides. When cutting though, make sure that you cut away from the material you want to keep, because otherwise you might end up cutting down through the trim on the other side. Let's get to it. And that's the cut done. As you can see, there's a lot of material still on the other side. Basically, use your knife and carve it down until you're satisfied. And that's the helm all done. Next up, we're gonna need some sort of plume. Basically, you can use just about any plume in your bit box, be it Chaos Space Marines, Orcs, Custodies. I'm gonna use the Stormcast plume from the Vanguard Hunters though, because that was the one at the top of my sprue box. But as you can see, the issue with the Vanguard Hunter plume is that it's really long, so we're gonna get a really tall helmet again. So what we're gonna do basically is decide on the length. I've decided just below where the plume starts. And just as before, do not use a pair of clippers, as they tend to crush the material or malform it. Rather use a sharp blade. As you can see though, the helm is cut at an angle while the plume is cut more horizontally. So what you'll want to do is cut down the back side of the plume so you can easily fit it to the helm without it becoming bent like that. Also, as a side note here, make sure you check out how the plume fits on the model. For example, if the cape is going one direction due to the wind and the plume going the other, it's gonna make one strange model in the end. Just add a bit of glue and attach the head with the plume. And that's the head done for the Stoneguard. Just assemble the right head with the right body. But to reiterate a few things from the previous episode, less is more. Always carve away as little material as possible and dry fit a lot to see if it fits the model. If you remove too much material, you basically ruin the bits. And that concludes our 10-minute guide. If you would like to see more from me in the future, stay tuned, make sure you like and subscribe, and drop me a comment on what you would like to see next time. See you.